What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got part 2 of the Saber-Tooth War with Wolverine issue number 42. And if you thought part 1 left bodies, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because, man, this series is so dope. Now, if you need to get caught up with part 1, I place a card right at the top of this video and a playlist as well at the end of the video. But just to give you guys a quick refresher, we last saw Saber-Tooth and his crew of alternate universe Saber-Tooths travel to Krakoa with revenge on the brain. But the mutants had all long since vanished from that island. They were, however, able to catch and kill Kid Omega and find a new mutant base called the Greenhouse and use what appeared to be Kid Omega's power to put both Black Tom and Sage into a sort of trance-like state, which pretty much nullified the Greenhouse's defense system. And we saw Saber-Tooth brutally dismember Fang, the biological son of Logan, and then spell out happy birthday in the snow using the body parts of Fang, leaving it for Logan to see right at the start of his birthday. So if you're ready to see how Logan responds, then you know what time it is. Let's get it. So when this issue picks up, we met with Logan and Victor Creed face to face after Logan was left devastated by his birthday greeting, as Logan is now in full-on berserker rage mode, and Creed begins to taunt him, and he tells Logan that, I know you want blood for blood and to pay me back so bad, but it ain't gonna happen. While Logan, he's straight ripping through these headless Saber-Tooth drones. But then Creed lets him know that he made him a promise before they tossed him into that pit back in Krakoa, a promise of pain. And he's here to collect on that promise, as we see Logan still tearing through more and more of these drones, but he's eventually overwhelmed and held down, while Creed is using one of Fang's claws to pick his teeth. But then Creed lets Logan know that his pain is only about to get worse from here, and there's nothing that he could do about it, because Creed wants Logan to suffer, and he plans to go inside the Greenhouse and kill every last team member. Then he lets Logan know that he's been busy. He traveled to a bunch of worlds and killed a bunch of alternate universe Wolverines, while enlisting an army along the way. He was also able to collect a few things in the process. In one world, Omega Red had adamantium tentacles, to which he has a drone bring them out. And then he tells the drones to use these tentacles to string up Logan. But Pretty Tooth, he isn't feeling this plan, and he tells Creed no. He wants Creed to just finish him off right here, right now, but Creed, this guy is stubborn. And since he's in charge, he puts Pretty Tooth in his place, and he tells him that he wants the Runt to live a little while longer. Nobody knows that we're here, so we swarm in and we kill them all. I want the Runt to hear the screams of the dying. I want him to smell the torn livers and bloody entrails of his friends. I want to break them. Then we transition to the inside of the Greenhouse with X-23 and Domino, who's still going over those Sentinel designs. When Domino then gives Laura a hard time about her gift wrapping a present for Logan, and then tells Laura that it feels weird making plans for the future, when not long ago she wasn't sure they had a future. But then she looks up and she sees Logan. And she tells Laura that she could give him his gift now. And when she tries to walk past Logan to allow them some alone time, he straight up knocks Domino out cold. And then he transforms back into Camo Tooth. And he asks Laura, whose face does she want to see as she dies? But we know Laura Kinney is not to be trifled with, and she starts kicking the crap out of Camo Tooth. I mean, she's going berserk on this dude, and he's got no shot against her one-on-one as she realizes that she's fighting a version of Creed, but not quite sure, because he's not like the one that she's used to. And then he lets her know that he's one of many, and as she goes in for the kill, both Pretty Tooth and Savage Tooth jump in to attack her, and now she's outnumbered. Then we see the control room with Black Tom and Sage as Laura tries to contact them and let them know that they're under attack, but neither of them respond because they're still in that trance, as we see then Saber-Tooth drones now ascending into the control room with them. Then we see Colossus in his room, asleep in bed, as Cap-Tooth and a couple of the drones come and go to attack him while he's asleep. But he hears them, and he's able to activate his metal skin just in the nick of time. Then we go back to Logan, who's outside still and strung up by these adamantium tentacles. And all he can do is hang there and think about everyone he's failed and how he wishes that he could just swallow their screams and make them his own. As we then see Creed, who along with his batch of drones is just demolishing all the mutants trying to scramble to save their lives. And it's just an absolute bloodbath. As Creed is just tearing body parts from these guys who just absolutely never stood a chance. Then he sees one of the little female mutants crying, and as he goes to try to end her, she's saved by Aurora, who flies in and grabs this little girl, along with Northstar, who is able to save another one. And they run away from that jam. But it's too cold for them to run outside because it's negative 40 degrees out there. So they decide to go into the control room and fight back. Now when they get in the control room, they're just in time as 3 drones are in there and just about to kill Black Tom and Sage while they're still in their trance. And Northstar and Aurora are able to save them and take out these drones. Then we go back over to Logan, who's still hanging there, as he's now thinking to himself that he could hear bones breaking and lungs choking on blood. He could smell the slaughter fest, but he could feel it too, like a sickness. Resurrection is over with. There's no coming back. Creed already took Omega and Fang, and now everybody in the greenhouse is next, including Laura. But ooh, don't y'all mess with Laura. As Logan thinks about her possibly getting killed, he can't bear it anymore, and since his skeleton is adamantium, but his skin isn't, he rips one arm from the tentacle, severing his hand. And with that now free nub, he's able to pop his claws and cut off both of his feet, followed by the other arm. And then he drops to the ground a bloody stump. Then we go back to Laura, as she's still managing to hold her own against these 3 versions of Sabretooth, while Pretty Tooth is now venting to Savage Tooth about Creed letting Logan live and sending him in there to deal with this. The Savage Tooth then jumps on Laura's back and tries to rip her face apart, when Savage Tooth is then blasted in the face and knocked to the ground by Domino, who's now awake and back in the fight. But not for long, as Camo Tooth then kicks Domino in the face and back to the ground. I guess Domino's probability powers keep her from getting killed in this fight by keeping her unconscious. But then as Pretty Tooth checks on Savage Tooth, while still blaming Creed for their situation, Laura then puts a set of claws right through his ear and out the other. And then with her other set of claws, straight up slices his head clean off. Man, y'all, X-23 is so freaking dope, it's crazy. But then Savage Tooth kicks the feet out from under Laura, knocking her to the ground, and then both Savage Tooth and Camo Tooth dive after her. Then we go back to the control room, and Aurora is able to awaken Black Tom and Sage out of their trance. And then they let them know that the base is under attack. Dozens are dead, and there's close to 50 soldiers under their roof. And now a groggy Sage is like, who, Orchis? And Aurora and Northstar let her know that it's worse than that. It's a multitude of Sabretooths that he somehow replicated himself. But now that Tom and Sage are awake, the greenhouse defense system is now back online. And y'all, this is where things really get dope. Sage then calls up the genetic profile of Creed using the control center. And Tom, he gets into his chair where he's able to communicate with the greenhouse. Then Sage tells him to treat this genetic signature like a virus, that the body of the greenhouse needs to destroy and expel him like a swarm of white blood cells. And then we see that's exactly what happens, as the branches start snatching up Sabretooth drones, and even Cap-Tooth, then begin to coil them up and keep tightening and tightening and tightening their grip, until these Sabretooths just pop. They're torn apart and dead. They even managed to cut through the leg of Victor Creed, who then retreats with the rest of the drones. As we then see Logan, who's made his way through the hallway and is in full rage mode, as he's met with a few drones and he wants blood. But then they're snatched up by the branches as well and are squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until they pop. Then Logan quickly makes his stubby way to where Laura and Domino were, hoping that he's not too late as he yells, "Laura! Laura! Laura!" And as we see his gift wrapped in bloody birthday present, that's the end of the issue. Damn, y'all, this Sabretooth war is absolutely insane. So Logan, he took a page from the Saw movies, but was it too little too late? And Laura Kinney, she was an absolute badass. Victor Creed, he's straight up brutal in this series with no remorse. But you guys let me know what you thought about this issue in this series so far. And do you think Laura Kinney survived? My guess is that the defense system snatched up Camo Tooth and Savage Tooth, but Laura is just banged up pretty bad. At least that's what I'm hoping for, but sheesh. This was absolute chaos. But if you guys like this video and this channel and want more, then you can support in a few different ways. You can give a super thanks, of course. But if you're not able to do that, then you can also help this channel out tremendously by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.